Welcome to the lecture on grouping objects with dictionaries and series. In this lecture, we'll see how we can use group by method by passing dictionaries and series objects. Let's create a data frame and save it in a variable. I'll save it in a variable called people names, and we'll use NumPy's random.randn method to create that. So pd.data frame, and then we'll create a 5x5 data frame, and we'll be using NumPy's random.randn, and let's generate a 5x5 data frame with some random normalized numbers, and let's pass column names and index names for our data frame. So for columns, we'll simply pass a list of alphabets A through E, A, B, C, D, and E. And for index, we'll pass a list of people's name. So we'll set the index to be equal to, let's say, Joe, James, Tim, let's say Lynn, and Hector. Let's see our data frame next. People names. So we have a 5x5 data frame. What we'll do next is put some missing values in our data set. We'll use NumPy's NaN method to put some no values or missing data in our data frame. Let's do that. So we have our people names. Then let's use the lack method, and you can choose whatever you want. Let's say people names that lack. Let's introduce some no values on our second row. That's for the x-axis, and then for the y-axis, let's introduce them on columns B and D. So we'll set that to be equal to np.nan. Now if we look at our people names data frame, we have a couple of missing data or no values. What we'll do next is map our column names to some strings. So let's say we map column A to a string, column B to another string, column C to some string, and then we'll use that in our group by function. So let's use a dictionary to map our columns, and then we'll save it in a variable called map dictionary, and then we'll set that to be equal to, so let's pass our key and value. So the keys in this case will be our column names, which is A. Let's map A to a variable, let's say 3. Column B will be our key 2, and then let's map it to, let's say 3. Then we have our column C. We'll map it to, let's say, a string 4. We have our column D, and let's map it to 4. And finally we have our column E, so that will be our key 5, and let's map it to, let's say, 3. Now that we have mapped our column names with some strings and created a dictionary, we can use this dictionary to group our data frame. So let's do that. we have our people names data frame, and then we'll call the group by method on it. So we'll group our people names data frame by the dictionary that we created, the map dictionary that we created, and we want to group it along the y-axis. So we set the axis to be equal to 1. Now we can save this in another variable. Let's say group dictionary So if we call our group dictionary object, we see that it's a data frame group by object. Now we can call methods on this grouped object. So we have our group dictionary, we can call the mean method. So we see that it will calculate the means for us. We have here all the names: Joe, James, Tim, Lynn, Hector, and then it's grouped by this map, the map dictionary, which is 3 and 4. So we have 3 and 4, and it has calculated the mean for us. We can also call the sum method on it. We have our group dictionary object, and we can call the sum method on it, and we have the sum. So this is how we can group our data frame by using a dictionary. So first we created a dictionary where we mapped our column names to some strings, and then we use that dictionary to group our data frame. And then once we have a group by object, we called or applied the mean method and the sum method on our group by object. Okay, next let's see how we can use the group by method on series. So let's say grouping objects by passing series. What we'll do is we'll create a series object by using this dictionary map that we just created. Okay, so let's do that. So pd.series, and we can simply pass our map dictionary object, and let's save it in a variable called map series. So if we run this and then call our map series object, we have a series with 5 indexes: A, B, C, D, E, and the values 3 and 4. Now we can group our people names data frame. Let's look at our people names data frame. That's what we created at the beginning. What we'll do is we'll group this people names data frame by passing this map series object that we created. So we'll pass the series. So we have our people names data frame, and then we'll group it by the map series that we just created. Then we'll do that along axis is equal to 1, which is y-axis. And we can save it in a variable. Let's save this in a variable called group series. And now if we look at our group series object, we see that it's a data frame group by object. And similar to what we did on the group dictionary object, we can call the sum method or any method on it. So let's say group series that, let's call the mean method on it. Remember, the mean method calculates the mean or numerical data. right? So we have 4, 3, and then we have our group series object, and we can call the sum method on it. We have the result here. We have our group series object, and we can call, let's call the count method on it. Here we'll get a count, 4, 3, and then the number of counts for each name, and so on. So this is how we can group objects by using series. So to summarize, we created a series object. And then we used that series object to group our data frame. And once we have that group object, we can call various methods like mean, sum, or count on it. That's all I have for the lecture on grouping objects with dictionaries and series. Thank you, everyone.